Hello, blessings on blessings. Thank you for viewing my channel. Um, I know it's been some time since I posted a video, but I just wanted to come and um, talk about not settling um, and just trusting God because God will work it out. So um, I've shared on my channel that I've been working remote. So now it's been maybe 8 months now that I've been working from home. Um, and um, and as I said, the pay, it's not um, what I really it's not what I really wanted. Because working bedside, of course, you're gonna take a huge pay cut. Working remote, and I understand because anyways, um, I recently sought to find a PRN position, you know, just to kind of make up for, um, to supplement my income basically. And so I recently got hired at a nursing home. I applied to a whole bunch of nursing homes. And um, the one thing I told myself, even before I got this remote position, that I would not go back to a nursing home. Now, previously, I was working assisted living, and I was working um, at a CCRC, which is like continuum care or retirement home. And I like that. It wasn't as busy as a nursing home. It's not so many skills. I didn't feel burned out. I mean, you do use your skills, obviously, but you're not burnt out, I feel like the nurse to patient ratio was pretty decent. And I'm a, night shift nurse. I normally just work night shift. And um, anyhow, so been applying to a whole bunch of jobs. I've been on about, I think, 2 or 3 interviews. Um, I actually got hired on to two places. One, I just recently um, went for orientation. Um, and the second one, I just realized they offered me the position. They, send me a letter in the mail and all that. But so the first position that I was hired on, um, I went to 1.5 day of orientation. And you know what? The Lord was telling me, though the pay was good, He reminded me, well, let me just say, I reminded myself that I said I would not work in a nursing home because, as the reasons that I stated, um, but I'm like, okay, well, I'll work here for a brief, period of time, or just, PRN. So that's what I was looking for, a PRN, like I said. And they actually offered me the PRN position, and they said, should a full-time position come available, they'll let me know. So I said, cool, I can do that, 12-hour shift, working maybe 1 or 2 days a week, while working remote from home. Um, and um, I'm like, okay. So I'm just still praying like this, let's see how things go. With me, I'm never going into a job and saying this is permanent. Always, I feel like if something happens, things arise. Not saying I'm out, but it's like I give things and places the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that. Um, so kind of like, okay, let's just, see where this goes. There were a few red flags, um, going in, not that I ignored them, but I'm like, okay, let's see. But the deal breaker was communication was just off from the get-go. From the time HR called me, They thought I was a CNA. They offered me low pay. Then they're like, oh, you only have 1 year experience. Mind you, I have 5 years experience as an LPN. And so she's like, well, I can't prove that. You have to send, you guys can go to the State Board of Nursing or go to Nursey, I think nursey.com or something like that, where you can verify a license. And you will see that I have a license from another state, and I also have a license, here in Florida. And so, anyways, there were a lot of red flags. The distance was, I guess it's not too bad. After looking at it, it was about 30 minute drive, and I did say 30 minutes is kind of too far considering traffic, especially around the rush hour, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and in the morning getting off. You know how nursing goes. It's like people may run late because of traffic, or they may, whatever the case may be. That's something I was very upfront with the person who interviewed me, is that I have to absolutely leave, when my shift is done, do my shift report, count the narcs, all that, and I have to go. And she's like, oh yeah, it's not a problem, not a problem, not a problem. So I'm like, okay, we'll see. Benefit of the doubt, right? And so yeah. So anyways, communication was off because she offered me the PRN position. She said, should something come up, we'll move you into the full-time position. We'll let you know. So um so I actually, during orientation, I asked her, oh, I had a question about, the PRN position. And she's like, you're not PRN, you are full time. And I'm like, so when did this change occur? I wasn't made aware of this. And it was as if I made it up. Like they never hired me for PRN. I was even introduced to the DON as PRN, with the understanding that I'll be moving into a full time position. So no problem. I'm like, okay, no problem. So if I'm full time, that's fine. You know, we'll figure things out as we go along. But mind you, it was somebody else in the room. So I didn't want to, be going back and forth and discussing this, while somebody was there. I feel like we discussed this in private during the interview and all that. And so me, at the time I was like, oh, no problem, kind of going on with it. And I feel like that's something that God is helping me through. I'll get to that another time. But God is helping me to, I guess, in a way, this is called people pleasing and not, wanting confrontation, just easy going. And at the end of the day, it's still going to weigh on my conscience. And that's, let's just say, at the end of the day, they get what they want, but I don't get what I want. And all I wanted is for you to be honest and communicate with me. That's all. So, make a long story short. So I was sitting there and I was praying about it. I was like, you know what? There's too many red flags. I texted my husband about it. My husband was very supportive. He was in agreement about, some things that's just not right. So I was like, that gave me all the confidence or the confirmation that I needed to just say, you know what, I'm done. So I, politely went to the lady's office and I spoke with her in private and I said, I will not be coming back after lunch. Thank you for the opportunity. Sorry it has to end this way. But, she was like, now talk to me. What is it? What is it? And I'm just like, honestly, it's communication, miscommunication. Not that that was a deal breaker for me, but I just thinking about it in as a whole, it was so many red flags. I told her it was just, I feel like long-term care right now was something that I really didn't really want to get into, but I was just, trying to get back into it. And, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but it is what it is. I feel like I was honest with myself, I was honest with her, and I feel bad for, going through the process and all that. And, but life goes on. People come and go all the time. There are people who may have left and didn't even say anything, but I just wanted to be, and I'm so sorry. This dog is barking. It's outside my house, my neighbor's dog. Um, yeah, so I politely um, told her that I would not be coming back after lunch. And she tried to call the DON. So she said, not that we're getting you to stay. And I'm just like, what was that, you know, for? What was the whole purpose of that? Anywho, um, stay tuned for part two. I need to go for my evening walk, so I'll be right back.